It's fine.
Look who it is. Here we are. Hello. What's up? We're live. It's episode 148. Snakes and Stogies. Phil is late, but that should come as no surprise.
I think we're at the pull of sponsorship, Justin. Phil can't show up on time.
I understand.
Yeah.
What's everyone up to? Robert's in the chat. Chris is in the chat. Utah EDC. Tradesman Exotics. All the good people. Billy Jenkins. Jenkins has been there for like 20 minutes waiting. What a freak. Oh, so this episode is brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com. Check them out. Facebook, Instagram. That's right. I wish I could. I just want to pinch it.
No, that's right.
Check it out. If you need a rack, you need a cage, please hit them up. Use code THN at checkout. Get a little bit shaved off the top. Save yourself a little bit of money. Some people complain about 10%. It's better than zero.
Exactly.
And then, hey, look at that. Look who's here. The people right here to my right. It is a little cold in the garage. It's not super cold, but it's been pretty cold. Temperature dropped again. Regardless, though, it's not as cold as it is in the Pacific Northwest, which is where the fine folks at Puget Sound Pythons reside. Our other awesome sponsor for Snakes and Stogies. Them and their cat. Here they are.
That's Fat Lily.
Yes. She says hi.
She's chunky.
She is chunky. She's on diet, I swear.
What's cold to you in South End?
Anything below 40.
Oh, 40. Okay, good. That's pretty chilly.
Like we had serious, like legit freezes and stuff a couple weeks ago, and that was kind of I didn't plan for that accordingly, especially mainly with the mice and stuff and the water reservoir and all that. So I ended up losing a few because the water lines froze up, and so they weren't drinking, which means someone was getting 8. So yeah,
We had Seattle turn into a skating rink a couple weeks ago. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, what broke?
Like just for freezing rain, and then it all
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
all the roads were just nothing but like
Mm-hmm.
inch or two in ice. It's a great time.
There's lots of videos on TikTok, I'm sure, of it.
Well, we actually got snow a handful of years ago, and everything froze up, and there was something like 69 car accidents in like 8 hours. Like nobody knows what to do around here. Like you would be amazed. You would think with as many northern transplants as we have that they would know how to drive in icy conditions and roads and stuff like that, and
Nope.
people lose their mind. Like, everyone's like, when you're on a road and there's a lot of trees, because we have those live oaks that shadow everything, and so you get those spots that are still frozen even after everything else is thawed because they're in the shade.
Yep.
And everyone's like, don't just blow through those. Like if you don't know it's frozen or not, like slow down. And people are just like, nah. Straight through, and then when they can't stop, they're like, "Oh shit!"
I don't know what to do.
What's that? Mike said, "Sorry, you were trapped with a bunch of 49ers fans Saturday, Kendra."
Thank you.
It's all right. We showed up.
Thanks.
We conquered. That was a tight game. I don't know. I was holding my breath for a little bit on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, me, Kendra's dad, and my brother are all Niners fans, and then she's the lone Seahawks fan. So
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I don't even watch football that much anymore. It's all
That's
about
true.
the Kraken. So
it's true. Hockey over football.
yeah.
I'll take that.
I haven't even been paying attention to how they're doing, and hockey's really the only sport I even care about.
Yeah. I feel it.
We had the Kraken had a good win streak. 7.
Yeah, it was like the end of the
One
night
streak.
was like 8 to.
Lost the win streak tonight, though.
Who were they playing?
I don't remember.
I didn't watch the game, but
Yeah, we were a little busy today.
It's like Vegas. Like when Vegas came, like Golden Knights and stuff started, dude. They had that one season, like right off the rip, where I think they were like undefeated for most of the season, and got all the way to the the finals and stuff. And
Lightning. That's who we lost to. 4-1.
Oh, yeah.
You
Tampa
lost-
Bay's been doing really, really well the last handful of years, man. Tampa Bay's been killing it.
Yeah, it seems like all
Out
the
of nowhere.
Florida teams, at least I think even football is all in the playoffs right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh, you look at me like I know.
it's true. But I love hockey. I love going to hockey games. That's
Dude,
Yeah.
it's fun. We don't have any NHL teams nearby except for North Carolina. But we do have like some minor league teams. So we've got like I think they're ECHL or ACHL or something. And we'll go to those games periodically. It's been a long time since I've been to one, but Savannah, Georgia, just recently they have a new team now. And Justin Olson, who used to live in Minnesota, obviously they're big hockey fans. They just moved down to my area, and so they've already gone to a couple games because they're like awesome. Like it's probably a 20-minute drive for them to go down there. And so I need to go down there and it's the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Is
Okay.
That's
the team
badass.
name. So it's pretty cool. I was actually like telling someone at work, I was like, we need to hit them up about getting some kazoos made because their color scheme is like similar to ours, like that green and black kind of glow in the darky sort of look. I was like, we could totally do kazoos for that and do like a kazoo night and make a ton of money. So
I gotta remind
Many
myself
bananas.
who it is.
It's the little noisemaker.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
We'd had this whole conversation
We
last
did.
time.
I remember. Yeah.
Dude, we were gonna get some made to like some THN ones to bring to Daytona last year. And we just didn't plan for it in time, but this year might have to happen.
Yeah.
We'll
Sounds
just
like it.
overtake the US Arc auction and make some noise.
At the same time, I'm kind of worried that people will be like, yeah, never come back.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. They already tried with the smoking cigars on the patio, so
Yeah.
Yeah, no joke.
Let's add noise complaints to that.
you're gonna make it this year, right?
That's the plan. That's kind of the sort of the one thing each year now that it's like definitely I will not be at work from this day to this day. And now that I have a job where I can actually do that, it's pretty sweet. Be like, hey, taking off Thursday through Sunday. See you on Monday.
You've been there for what, like a year now, or over a year?
It's been 9 months.
Oh wow,
Nice.
time flies.
Yeah, it does. Jeez.
Patrick asked if I read the article he sent me. I have not yet. So I was at work and then I left work early. Because my buddy who also lives in sort of the Bluffton Hilton Head area, his name is Angelo of Hilton Head Exotics. He had some rat racks and a big breeding group of rats that I traded him one of my male Beox for. So I left work early because I had to go home, get the snake, box it up, go to my parents' house, get my dad's truck, drive out to Bluffton, which is like a 45-minute drive. And then we had to load everything up. Somehow, I mean, you saw the picture on Instagram. Like, it was, I was white knuckling that thing all the way home. I was like, oh my God. So, it sucks because I was on my way there. Like, I had to piss really bad. And so I stopped at this one gas station, and lo and behold, bathrooms are out of order because they had a pipe burst or something. So I was like, awesome. So got back in the car. I was like, I'll just go get them and then I'll figure it out on my way back. So I drove to Angelo's, got everything loaded up, got rats in some bins, and I thought it was only going to be like 25 rats. It's like 50. It's a lot. So then finally on my way home, like managed to stop, but also realized like some of those tubs didn't really have much ventilation. So I'm like fanning them a little bit and trying to like get some airflow in there. And so I stopped to go to the bathroom, get a monster, let the rats get some oxygen, get back in the car and drive. Like then I had to go to Tractor Supply because I didn't have enough bedding to fill everything up. Ended up doing that, fanned them again, got home, unloaded everything in the dark by myself, got everything set up, came home, hung out with the wife and stuff for a little bit, ate, and now here we are. So it was it was a 3-hour like round trip, but like the way I brought 2 ratchet straps for 3 racks, And
Oh, it was
some
three.
like
I thought it was two.
no, it was 3. He had a 4th one that I was supposed to take, and like I'm kind of glad he didn't have it with him because that wouldn't have fit in the truck. Like it would not have worked. But somehow
That's
it I didn't lose anything. Like it didn't sound like anything was coming loose or anything while I was driving, down the highway. And we have this really big bridge that crosses this massive river, and that's always usually really windy. And so I was like, that's where, like, Broad River, that's when I'm gonna have problems. I know it. Fortunately, it wasn't super windy today, and the water was actually pretty calm. So made it across that, no issues. Didn't get pulled over. I was sure that with those hoses with the little water nozzles, like one of those would like pop out of the hose and like hit someone's windshield, and then I'd have someone like driving by me telling me I got stuff flying out the back of my dad's truck, and the cab is starting to smell like rats, and I'm like, mother of God, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But made it back. Everyone's safe, and now I have never dealt with rats before, so this is a new.
They're way better than mice. I'll tell you that much.
I kind of, setting them up, I think I might even like them more than mice automatically. Like they seem to be so much, like they're curious. Like I had them in these bins, so I opened the lid to like put them in groups and stuff, and they're all like kind of popping out, looking around. Like none of them were like trying to take off or do anything shiesty. It was. I was like, okay, you guys are cool.
Yeah, they're super smart and they're friendly. I mean, we have our helpers and they're always picking them up and holding on to them while we're cleaning. I'm like, all right, get back to work. Stop playing with rats. But now they're super personable. They're cool. And they breed, I think, a lot more than mice. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, I guess it depends on the group size we have, the age, like how long we've had them, etc. Lots of variables to think about.
Well, it sounds like from everyone that I've talked to in the past that's dealt with rats, is they're not nearly as brutal as mice are in terms of like social hierarchies and things like that. Mixing adult groups of mice usually only leads to nothing but problems, at least with males in particular. So anytime I sort of shift groups around and sort of change things up, I usually have to stay there for a few minutes and just kind of listen to see if any of them start going at it, and split them up and find a new tub for whoever the weaker link of the two was. And it's a pain. So to not have to worry about that nearly as much with the rats and stuff is going to be nice. So.
Yeah.
I think we have like 240 female rats right now breeding. Way too many.
Well, that's the funny thing too, is like I don't have anything that can eat. Like these rats are freaking big. Like I forgot how big rats are, because when he opened the thing to like start putting them in tubs for me to transport and stuff, I was like, mother of God, like those things are huge. I don't have anything that can even eat an adult.
Yeah.
Like an adult even for the female Jansen and I would be way too much. Like massive.
Does Jake have anything? Like
Jake does, so that's kind of the saving grace, I guess, because basically when Angelo asked me, he's like, anybody interested in some rats? I was like, I would be, because it sounds like rats are in pretty high demand for the most part. Like they're kind of getting hard to come by lately. I've been having to, as stupid as this sounds, like I've been having to buy my feeders lately, and it's been a real drag. It's been some serious bullshit because my mice aren't breeding. So I was like, look, if I can get a nice group of rats, a lot of the stuff I have is at the size where they're eating, fuzzies and what would essentially be like rat pinks, more or less currently. So I was like, this will be good, because I need basically smaller stuff. I can raise things up to get them to about adult mouse size, and then feed them off whatever I need. And then if I have like retired breeders that I do end up culling, like Jake can use them. I have the pine snakes too. Like those are going to take a while to get to that point, but an adult pine could eat one of those rats probably. Southern pine at least could take one of those down. So I think it'll be good. Those on coupled with the mice and stuff, it'll be nice pressure off of them, because I'm kind of at a point where I'm not using anything that they produce. I'm trying to just get breeder groups together and replenish those. I had a nice batch of hoppers that I had been raising up that I didn't put enough bedding in the tub. They couldn't reach the water, so I went from like 10 to like 2 last men standing and a bunch of like half-eaten
Oh man.
friends, and so that was a setback, and it's been one thing after the other. So I think the rats will be good. I'm currently, now the next hurdle is going to be gauging how much more food and attention am I going to have to now, because right now I clean on Sundays and then I go over there on Wednesday mornings before work, top everything off, and then I'm usually not there again until Sunday unless I'm happen to be at my parents' house just checking on things anyways.
Rats definitely go through more food
Yep.
than the mice.
Yeah,
And more water, much more water.
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me.
So like with ours set up, I think her dad, they're in his garage, and he feeds them, I think, like probably almost twice a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're running our groups at like 1.5 to like 1.6. So like,
Yeah, these are supposed to be like 1.5 ish.
Yeah.
It's always
the problem
sometimes.
Is when I was moving them into the groups and stuff, and looking, like some of them were obviously male, and then there were some that I just was like, I don't know what you are. I don't know if it's just cold and I can't tell.
It'd be like that sometimes.
So I don't know, but there's more than enough females, that's for sure. It's only, I think, out of that entire group, there's less than 10 males. So
yeah, that's good.
There's a lot.
Are you gonna do like a rotational system with them, with like the males?
Yeah. As soon as I kind of get a better grasp on who's where and what's happening. How often do you guys rotate yours?
We don't. So we have two different like setups as far as breeding goes. We have the maternity racks, and then where they have like it's a little bit smaller than the concrete bins I think that you have now, where we do like a 1.3, and then as soon as they're pregnant and about to pop, we'll move them up to a bin where they're by themselves, and then they'll raise the babies, and then they'll get put back into the rotation after that. And then our colony breeding, we do 1.6, and we just leave a male in there.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if I don't have the time to rotate males.
It wouldn't be hard, because I did it when I lived in Buffalo. I did that. I did a rotational system. It's just annoying to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you got to make sure, like, because I usually did the rotation on cleaning day, so every week we would change. So the male would hit every bin.
P and Cody do the maternity thing too, and I have those two separate, like, standalone grow out bins that I got from Reptile Basics that I used for, like, once hoppers got to that sort of hopperish size and they were fully off mom and on their own, like I'd put them in that to raise them up, because they could reach the water and the food a little easier than they could in the rack system. But is there, like, what is the benefit to separating females for that?
From what I see, it's only been 2 weeks now, but you can identify how many babies a adult rat female is producing, or if she's eating them, or if she's just not being a good mom and providing the nutrients they need. And so, like, when a mom is just having 3 babies, she's going to get recycled basically. And so we'll get a new girl in there rather than just wasting all that food and that space. Because we have some girls that'll drop 12, 15 babies just over and over again.
That's ideal. That's what you want, because it's a lot of space in those bins that they're utilizing if they're not producing, right? The other thing that we found is some females will steal other females' babies, and then, like, the other female who had the babies or whatever, like, she'll start to dry up because she's not feeding anything, and she's not in season, so she's not producing. And so the idea is, I think, that if we get them maternity bins, they can focus on their babies, take care of their babies, get them fat, plump, and healthy, and then we can get through the rotation quicker.
Also, I don't know if it's a factor, but then we're not, like, potentially overbreeding that female.
Yes.
Because she's not just being bred as soon as she has those babies. She's in a bin by herself until the babies are weaned, so she gets a break.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Okay, so you're leaving her in there by herself for, like, what, probably 2 weeks?
Until they're weaned, so
longer than that, I'd say.
3, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is new territory. So
so we have both setups now. If maternity setups end up being more fruitful, we're gonna just switch everything to that. So
we're in that experimental mode because we've done the other way we've been monitoring production levels in each bin and each rack for 2 years now?
3
years. And so we're I have a system in my Excel sheet, and I can see, like, the fluctuations. Obviously there's always going to be a dip in the winters, But then to see what the production level and like the rate is at the end of the, what are we gonna do, like 6 months of maternity rack, something like that, tracking it to see how things go. So
gotcha. The I need to come up, I mean, I tried to have some sort of system together to keep track of how old groups were with mice, because with the mice I just have 2 like cat litter pan size tubs with 4 each in it, and then I've got 2 groups of mice, like bigger groups, in 2 concrete tubs on another rack, and now there's 2 groups of rats on top of those. And I don't know if it's just because Sundays usually when I'm cleaning, it's like I'm in there to get it done and get it out the way to move on to something else, but or sometimes I'll move groups around just because one tub crashed and there's nothing in it, so I'll just move that to the bottom and move what was up there up, and then I'd forget to keep track of when I moved them or when that group was put together, and so I definitely need to get better about having some sort of system in place to keep track of those kind of things. But
we just get a spreadsheet, right? Hey, they produced this amount of much. We created a new group at this date, and so
and then we just input it. It's like on a clipboard, so our helpers can write things in as we're going through, and then I can put it into my Excel doc at the end of the day. Easy, and then just track trends over time. You
see a pretty consistent average in terms of like breeding career, like a bell curve of production from a single female.
I think it kind of, we don't know single female, but groups. I mean,
there would be no way that we could track single individual females just because there's just way too much. But we can track typically like bins. And there's a good correlation between outside temperatures and the production levels. They stay pretty consistent. And that's where we've had to like do interventional variables like adding a heater or adding insulation to like the top of the back of the bins to keep the heat in when we had cold snaps or when the power goes out or something. That is all that will fluctuate things over time.
Yep. Tell you what, we added a carbon filter to the garage, and that's a game changer as far as the ammonia smell. Because
that's never been an issue for me because the shed sort of setup they're in has like 20-foot ceilings, so it's very tall, and so it's also not like completely sealed, so it's like dirt floor, and there's still like gaps between some of the slats because it's it's lumber and stuff, and so there is airflow and stuff through there, and any of the heat in the summer rises, so it doesn't get stupid hot in there. Like it does get warm, but it's not anything unbearable. And I think those high ceilings definitely make a huge difference when it comes to that and the smell, because you walk in there and it really doesn't smell super rodent-y.
That's good.
You're lucky.
Yeah, that's as much as I'd love to move them into the garage or something closer to the house, which my parents only live like 5 minutes away, but I'm kind of okay because I think that's what stopped Jake from kind of having his own rack and doing his own, is they'd be in his garage, which is fine during the winter, but in the summer it's like an oven,
Yeah.
So I don't know, we'll see. And now I need to find another source for like FRM, because there was a place down outside of Savannah in Georgia where I could, I'd jet down there and buy 3 or 4 bags of rodent pellet. But then I think usually I would call before I'd go down there just in case I didn't have it, save myself the hour drive. And I called him last time. He's like, oh yeah, we stopped carrying that. There's now a group that like goes together. They all go in on a pallet together. And so I was like, oh, okay, I don't really want to deal with that. But we just had an Ace Hardware open here, and PA and Cody get FRM from their Ace Hardware. So I emailed them today asking, is there some way you guys get this in? Like, do I have to buy an entire pallet if you get it in? Like, basically, if you can hunt it down, like I'll buy it from you on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to hear back on that. But like, as much as I'd like to use Missouri and stuff, it's shipping and stuff on that is just insane. It's hard to justify.
Yeah. What's the overall cost for you out there for
the FRM when I was getting it from that feed and seed was only like $15 a bag.
Oh,
wow.
For a 50-pound bag. So that's why I was like, this is perfect. Like, I'll definitely drive down there and buy 3 bags, and that 3 bags will last me with the mice. At least it would last me for, I don't know, like at least 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Ours is $34.99 a 50-pound bag, not for FRN, but a different brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, I think Missouri almost got to what, $40.
It's something ridiculous.
Yeah, like
it was like
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. I think like 60 when maybe it was like 30. It was $30 a bag, and then shipping was 60.
What?
So it's like, am I going to pay $90 for a single? It was only like a 20-pound bag, I think, or something like that too. I'm like, that doesn't.
Wow.
It's not feasible.
Yeah, that's insane.
We just get ours on Chewy, ships to the house now.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's better than
buying a pallet at a time. Of the other stuff.
Driving over an hour away.
Although I was at Tractor Supply earlier, getting more stuff, and they had some like deer feed that was like really high protein in like a pellet form, and I was trying to read I didn't see anything that had the ingredients on it. I must not have been looking. It might have been on the sides or something. Either way, I didn't see it, but that kind of had me wondering. So I might look into that and see what the deal is with that, and if it's something that's I deem sort of safe, and doesn't have any weird chemicals or hormones or anything in it, then might give it a shot. It's
yeah. I've heard people use like swine food or what was the other one?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like hog feed and stuff like that. I know people have used it. I can't remember what the brand name is, but they found it at Tractor Supply, but I've never seen it at ours. So I never had the opportunity to try it just as a test. But
if you add the foraging mix, the rats will love it too.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part of breeding rats. Is we had like a foraging mix when we like set up their bins. So we had like a system. We clean them, put the pellets down, put the bedding in, put our forage feed in, which is like a mix of different types of seeds, some like sunflower seeds and
bugs.
Oh yeah, we do the was it freeze dried?
Yeah, the mealworms.
Yeah,
I used to get the mealworm, like the mealworm bricks that you use for bird feeders, and cut it up into like marshmallows, and there wouldn't be anything left of those. They destroyed those.
Yeah, and every once in a while we'll add in, we'll get like a big thing of eggs. I mean, not now since eggs are like $6 a carton, but just hard boil a ton of eggs and just like crack them, and then like leave an egg in each bin, and so then I'll go after it and like dig through the eggshell. It's wild to watch, but
yeah, we're gonna start doing quail here in the spring, so I'm kind of excited to try that again.
Yeah.
So right now, as an alternative to the FRM, since I couldn't find it, I've been using Pure Balance dog food, which is like a grain-free variety that I went through. And honestly, I compared ingredients and stuff between all the bigger brands and like everything I could find. And in terms of ingredients and amounts of what's in it, that Pure Balance was better than like the Blue Wilderness and Blue Buffalo stuff by a long shot, and it's like way cheaper. So I'm like, how is this even possible? But the problem is like, depending on which one you go with, the actual like pellets themselves are tiny. There's like a large breed formula that has bigger ones, but that seems to be in and out of stock sporadically. Is hog feed too heavily medicated? It may be. That's a good question, but
yeah, I don't know. I hadn't done much research into it yet, so
there's some good breakdowns on the like feeder groups on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
like the actual ingredients and what does what. But
and Darren asked if I have issues with predators, and I really don't. So there was like a stray cat that kept digging under the it's a barn door basically, so it's on the rollers and rolls to the side, and it was just eating the food off the bottom shells, but I think it somehow got a hold of like some of the rat poison that was in there, because my dad did have a rat problem with like wild rats in that shed for a while, and that cat died. So I haven't had an issue since. So that must have been it. For a while I thought it was just a possum or something. But no, I mean, really, like last year and years after that, or previous years, I'd get rat snakes in there, like small yellow rats.
That'd be cool.
I'd find them in the grow out bin, having eaten at least 2 hoppers and having wrapped one and killed it and not gone back to it. With a whole group of hoppers in like one corner, like freaking out.
Yeah.
So I think actually last year I had the same rat snake at least twice because it was about the same size every time I found it. This is like probably a 1.5, 2-year-old snake, not very big, but I'd let them eat. Like when they ate it, I'd just take them outside and release them. I mean, like, you earned it, buddy. Like how you even got in there, like through the bars and stuff into that cage is beyond me, but whatever.
Our worst predator has been escapee rats when they just chew the water lines and flood bins.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of it, but we found a solution for that, so
yeah,
knock on wood, we're good.
Yeah, there's still plenty of that poison hanging out in that shed. So if any of them do get out, I don't think they'll last very long. So.
Yep.
No, I don't see that being a problem. I think especially with the mice, if you give them stuff to keep them busy, you don't have to worry about them chewing on things they're not supposed to. Like I give mine, I'll either get there's some grass blend you can get. There's Timothy hay and like alfalfa, and like I'll get them big bales of that and put it in there, especially this time of year because I noticed they like to use it for bedding a lot.
Yep.
So when we had that serious deep freeze, I'd take a massive amount of that and put it in there for them to nest in and get the babies and stuff in there and to chew on too. And if they run out of dog food between checkups, check-ins, so I'm doing that. I get like Cheerios, regular Cheerios. There's a Walmart brand that you can get a box. It's like $1.50 for a box of it. And it's not the honey nut. It's just straight whole grain Cheerios.
Mm-hmm.
They really like those. So there's that, the dog food. Usually I'll get like a bag, like a 5.5 pound bag of Royal Wing, one of the birdseed blends that's got, nuts and cherries and mealworms and all kinds of stuff in it, and give them a handful of that. And then I'll cut up sweet potatoes sometimes into like fourths, like circles, and then cut that in fourths and give them wedges of that, and they like those a lot. So I try to definitely give them more than just the food, like the dog food or the rodent diet, and give them a little bit.
We just give them leftovers, like when we don't finish food. If it's meat, if it's veggies, whatever,
Yeah, anytime. So one of our meals is we take rotisserie chickens from Costco and we'll shred them up and make little meals for them. Or for us, not for them. And then, we'll take bits and pieces of that and feed them to the mice and the rats, and they love it.
Yeah, they'll chew it up clean. So
yeah,
I've seen what they do to each other, so I'd only imagine that a rotisserie chicken would be no worse.
Especially if they go without water, they will not hesitate to go together.
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure out the connection there. Like I'd have some where like I'm like, you have food, like you have a little like. It took me a while to realize I got cannibalism issues when they didn't have, like, when water lines clogged or like whatever, something related to water. If they didn't have access to it, that's when I had issues. Like they seem like they're okay if they end up going out without food for a certain period of time, they seem to be fine. But water is a completely different story. Like they run out of water, and that's when it's game on.
I found that mice, if they don't go like even half a day without some sort of water supply or a day without water, like they'll just rip through each other almost immediately. Rats, like if a line froze or we had an issue where it was clogged or something, it may be like a day or two before they start going after each other, but mice are brutal.
Yeah. My coworkers are like, "Oh, that's their mice are so cute," and I'm like, "If you knew what they did to each other, you
Right.
wouldn't feel so bad." Like,
that's
another thing I've heard from a lot of people is like they feel worse when they have to call rats and stuff, or like whatever.
Sorry, looking at the comments.
Like mice, it's whatever because they're just horrible to each other. But I've heard rats, it's a little tougher because they, maybe it's because they're a little more aware, like what's going on.
Yeah, maybe.
It kind of reminds me of like quail. They'll do a similar thing where like a male will start bullying a bunch of the other ones and just start pecking at their heads. I don't know. Animals are cruel to each other sometimes, but
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not super excited to get back into quail for that reason, but it is.
I'm excited for the having them as options as far as feeders go.
Yeah.
For all the colubrids and stuff, I think they would like it. But.
Well, and their gestation from egg to chick is 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you just pop them in the incubator and, rotate them once a day or whatever. And then.
I can't remember the size of a wound.
Yeah, I would say maybe a little smaller. They're so cute though when they start to hatch. It's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So there was Angelo's the same one that I had messaged you about the other day, who was getting, he's kind of getting out of some ball stuff.
The DG.
Yeah, because as soon as he told that, I was like, I know people that like desert ghosts. Like, I know the wedding and stuff is kind of put stuff on pause, but sort of what's the plan for the year, like this upcoming season and stuff?
What is our plan?
Like, are you guys gonna not pair as much stuff with the wedding and everything, or
that's definitely something that we've kind of held off on because everything would kind of align with right at the end of our honeymoon and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've really kind of backed off a lot from most stuff, but what do we have? We paired
all the
paired the Apodora.
Yeah, I paired the Apodora, the olives, some carpets, the Demerals.
Yeah. I'm excited about those.
And then we introduced the Bloods, but they didn't show any interest, and I haven't paired them back up again. And then we haven't started on the balls yet, so we're starting pretty late on that. But
I don't even know what the usual season is for balls. When are people usually
year round? But
really?
A lot of our girls go late anyway, so I don't think it's really going to affect it.
About when to pair ball pythons. It's you can do it year round. You can start in October. You can start in January. There's different opinions.
But I mean, I think it's gonna be probably a smaller year for us as far as production goes.
Yeah.
But you never know, I guess. I mean, because if the olives go and the Apodora go, I mean, I'd be more excited about that than any of the other projects, to be honest. But who knows? We tried them last year; they didn't go. So we'll see.
It seems like you've posted some pictures of the Apodora and stuff, though. It seems like there's been some headway there.
A lot of cuddling.
Interest,
yeah. But I didn't see with the olives. I see him spurring her and. Sorry, my cat's food's going off. He goes all at it, and I just see streaks of his little snail trail all over her backside. But it's kind of gross. But the Apodora, I mean, I haven't seen that with them. But they're not eating each other, and that's the huge plus.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Ryan Young just posted his male after in an introduction, and they've been paired like 3 years in a row and no issues.
No, and then
all of a sudden,
snapped.
She just tore his ass up. So
as
long as they don't kill each other, I'm happy. But because our two they're not nice. They're not nice snakes.
No.
They bite everything and anybody.
Yeah.
But so it always makes me nervous putting them together because I'm like, just don't make a mistake and think it's food. But so far we're pretty lucky. I think we'll have a decent year this year, but nothing as big as last year probably.
Yeah, and that's okay.
We have a lot going on this year because
Weddings,
I think that's a lot of people are sort of taking that approach this year. Like I know I am. I paired more than I've ever had last year, and I definitely don't want to do that this year. So sort of pulling back on some things, but maybe that's the way it kind of just naturally goes. Like you have 1 year where you pair a lot of stuff, and then the following year you kind of back off some, and then the year after that you're back to pairing more. So I don't know.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with giving some females off, for a year, and letting something get a little bit bigger before you breed it either. So I mean, we're not doing this because of the recession in the hobby, but or anything like that, because I see that going around online a lot. But I think it's more just laziness.
No, it's definitely not laziness.
Yeah, I think it is. But we've just been putting off as far as pairing goes, and then.
Well, weddings are stressful.
They are, yeah.
Trying to get things aligned and just not having the time for it, and career shifts and changes at work, and not having a time for everything I'd like to do. Yeah. It happens. not the end of the world. It's not like we're going to be out of this because we don't produce something, you know, 1 year. This is definitely a long-lived passion that we have. So
that's the luxury of it being a hobby, not like your own job, like your sole job.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't need to produce things and sell things to still have fun and, you know, support your life.
Yeah, that's something I've gone back and forth on a lot too. You know, I've thought about going for the full-time thing, and then I think about it and I'm like, would it kind of kill it for me because now it is a job and like it is that, and then, you know, could you, like, the amount and stuff, it's such a irregular, it's a very inconsistent income, you know.
Yeah, so it's not like a product, you know, that can sit on a shelf for 8 months before it sells. You know, these are living animals. You have to feed them, take care of them, you know, care for them, and that takes time and money and effort. And not a lot of people are willing to do that if it's a business. And
we have friends that are full time, you know, both on the ball python side and the carpets and other stuff too. But and they're successful at it. But I think at the end of the day, I don't personally want to do it full time. I wanted to keep it as the side hustle. I mean, eventually, you know, we retire from day jobs, and then that's an extra little money. But that'd be nice.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're cool snakes in boxes, and we enjoy them, and that's all I need. But if they'd help me pay for the wedding, that'd be great too.
Darren said I should do a chondro cast with Daniel because he had a really nice year with Kofiau and Aru chondros, which I actually talked to him a while back about that when he got eggs, and he was like, let's wait until they hatch and I sort of get them established so that I can sort of have more to talk about, I guess. So it's been discussed. Gotta make it happen at some point.
I don't know how you guys do it with chondros. Those babies just would drive me nuts.
I don't know, man. It wasn't, in comparison to some other stuff, they really weren't that bad. But
that's true. Kind of reminds me of the Solomons. They were a pain in the butt too.
They're the bane of my existence. I hated Solomon Islands. Oh, they were so pretty, but they were the pickiest eaters, just the most difficult, and they're just so tiny. It's not like you can assist feed or force feed them. Like
I forgot you guys had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how, compared to, you know, the difficult feeders or whatever, I don't know how Randy has been so successful with all of his Dominicans that he's had.
I know.
I think he's gotten them all to eat and hasn't lost any. And I'm like, that is awesome.
He's a Dominican guru, for sure.
I think he had a lot too. 2 different litters.
Let's see. Yeah.
I wish at this point I had gone to the courthouse and we just gotten it over with.
That'd be cheaper.
That would have been so much cheaper.
All of our family lives out of state too, so it's a struggle bus.
Yeah.
That's what made it easy for us, is all my family extended too lives here, so everyone's got to drive 15 minutes across town.
That'd be nice.
That would be, yeah.
But even then, we got married sort of in the beginning of COVID, and that was kind of a good excuse to be like, oh, we can only have so many people.
Right.
I don't know. We kept it pretty small. I think we had less than 50 people.
Yeah.
And we kept it pretty inexpensive. It was still good. It was still tasteful, but we were whether we spend $50,000 or $500, you're married the same regardless. So it was
it's true.
At the end of the day, it's that piece of paper that you need, right?
Yeah. So we were happy with it, though. I mean, we pretty much just had people we didn't have a bunch of family that I barely knew or talked to. You know, it was if you were there, you were there because you were actively involved in our lives. So that was nice.
That is nice. Yeah.
I think a lot of ours is friends too, because just from the local area, just, you know, we spend life with them, you know, all the time. So it's might as well get together on the big day.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be family that I only see once every 2 years.
Yeah.
See the friends that we see, you know.
Almost daily at this point.
Yeah.
What were y'all going for the honeymoon?
We're still trying to go to Thailand, but
Jeff is trying to go to Thailand.
Yeah, Jeff is trying to go to Thailand.
I'm trying to go to a tropical beach.
That's in Thailand.
Thailand has those.
It does.
Yeah, but Jeff also wants to go like explore in the jungle, which I would totally be down for.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna be in Thailand, why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
I know.
Retakes, all that kind of stuff.
I know.
Away from the king cobras, though, I'm pretty sure those are there too.
Yeah, if you figure it out, I'll be there. I am not planning anything for the rest of my life.
And Thailand's not too expensive either.
I've heard it's visit wise, it's it's pretty cheap.
Flights are the worst part.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
I thought about Laredo, Mexico too, like
Mm-hmm.
Baja Surf, California, like area,
Mm-hmm.
because they got some pretty nice as far as like herps go.
Mm.
Who was it? Alan Stevens was sending us pictures of some of the stuff he's found over there.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
that was cool.
They went like whale watching too, and I was like, that's pretty awesome. But
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat.
That'd be badass.
I think I prefer Thailand. I don't know.
Whales or tiny whales. Or
Harry and Jenkins asked what I was smoking. I'm smoking LFD Chapter 1. And I always cut these too far. And so it's like every one I have, it unravels a little bit and it drives me crazy. But it's okay. Not my favorite.
Where's Mr. Phillip at?
I don't know where that fool's at. Like,
Do you lose power?
Poor guy. But
Peru would be fun. We should totally go to Peru.
I honestly never even looked into it.
Okay, well now you have something to do. Too.
Yeah, no, I got another thing for the list.
didn't Dom went to Peru?
What?
Recently? Oh no, yeah.
No, it was a couple years ago, but
Oh,
trip she sent,
okay.
yeah, I think I saw.
I never like this year. I'm like, Dom, where are you? Why?
But she said there was like the group, I guess, that I don't know what the actual term is for the people that sort of host these things, but she said there's like a group where you pay X amount for like a week, and that all inclusive or whatever you want to consider that. And she seemed really happy with it. I think the time of year that they were there, she didn't see much in the way of snakes, but I think she saw plenty of dart frogs and stuff, which if I'm going anywhere sort of Latin America, like dart frogs are going to be the big reason why I want to go, just because having kept them and stuff and seeing them in the wild would be awesome.
That'd be wicked.
Yeah. Kendra already shut me down the first place I wanted to go, which was Indonesia. She's like, no, I'd prefer not to die on my honeymoon.
See, I said Australia, and you were like, no, we have to go with everybody else.
Australia's expensive.
It is expensive.
For a honeymoon.
That's okay. That's what you're for.
This is true, right? But yeah, I think Australia too, like during June wasn't a good time to visit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If I remember it correctly.
What would be even funnier is if you guys literally were like, let's go to Canada, and you went right over the border to whatever like the closest
Wouldn't
city
take
is.
it that long.
Nope.
Yeah, like,
Be a short, like what, 2-hour drive?
Yeah, 3 hours, depending on where.
Yeah. I'm good on Canada though.
I've visited and seen all of British Columbia my entire childhood. I'm good.
He's had enough for one lifetime.
Yeah, Surrey, BC was where I lived every single weekend from the ages of like 6 to 22 for ice hockey. So when I played competitively, and we didn't have any. We were the only female ice hockey team in Washington State. So we had to play all the Canadians. So we were there every single weekend, like 8 months out of the year.
Oh, wow. I don't know, man. I was watching, I found this like true crime channel on YouTube, and they were talking about Idaho. And for some reason lately, Idaho, I keep hearing about it from various places and stuff.
The Idaho?
Just like Idaho in general, like not the recent thing, but something else that happened a couple years ago. But I was like unaware that there's deserts in Idaho.
There's deserts in Washington, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like when there's a major desert in China too.
Yeah,
somewhere. I forget the name of it. I don't know. Like when I think of Idaho, for some reason, I always think like Middle America, like on the other side of the Dakotas. Like
really?
Maybe I'm just dumb. That's way off, but
yeah.
It's kind of
I don't
weird,
know, man.
like long
It's-
at the top, and then it goes way down. So
I need to go on and search, see what kind of herps and stuff they have, because it just seems like a really overlooked state in terms of sort of like habitat and things. It seems. I think you think of potatoes usually, like Idaho potatoes.
Yeah.
So it's like it must be like Nebraska, where it's just nothing but fields of potatoes instead of corn. But then I'm like hearing that there's like desert and stuff like that, and seeing like video of it and whatnot. And I'm like, that actually looks pretty freaking cool.
I know they have rubber boas. I'm not sure what else they got.
Yeah, I no idea. Fence lizards, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I assume some salamander species, but
No, Idaho's pretty cool though.
yeah.
Only driven through it like twice my whole life, but
Yeah, I've only driven through it once when I moved back from Buffalo back to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That state and Delaware you kind of forget exist.
Yeah.
I have no desire to go to Delaware ever
No.
in my life.
No.
Like, have you ever met someone that's like, I'm from Delaware?
Nope.
No, I feel like it's one of those states where people are like born there and then they die there. Like they don't leave.
They never escape.
Yeah.
They check in, but they don't check out.
Yeah.
It's like a prison.
I'm so glad that I left Buffalo. Buffalo is just like that.
It's called
People are
Delaware.
always there and they never leave.
Delaware. I like that.
I guess someone made another retic video that Bill Bradley
Uh-oh.
decided to do a rebuttal against, because he said retic PSA is made and posted.
Oh, I gotta watch this now.
Bill, give us the Cliff Notes version of what it was and why you are TikToking it out of existence.
I think he said he had his THP shirt on, or Snakes and Stogies shirt. So
Oh,
out here representing.
Oh, speaking of, so we have the raffle coming up next month for Slate Reed, and I have one of the very items that we will be including in that because I got it done today. It is this
Oh, I saw that picture.
awesome.
That's so rad.
I have one of these myself, and I actually really like it. Like, it's a nice little sort of tack bag.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. It's a good herping bag. And it's got the THN logo right there on the pocket there. Pockets galore, zippers galore. So this will be in the raffle, and along with many other things. So we've got some really nice animals lined up. I talked to Mike Stefani today, and he's got a Meritons he's going to put up, which is awesome. I need to see if there's any sort of stipulations to that in terms of, like, if you win, you need to make sure that, like, Mike has to know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense. That's awesome, though. That'll be good. When are you doing the raffle again?
So we're going to start it. Like, my plan is to have it going like the 1st of February on the THN website. I've started writing out the raffles and then the slots so that I can just take that whole thing when it's done, copy and paste it onto a post on the website, and then it can be, plug in pictures and then it'd be ready to go. So there's some cool stuff right now. So I started doing them like raffle A, B, C, D, E. I'm all the way down to, I think, the last few letters of the alphabet. We got a copy of the More Complete Carpet donated. So that's going to be in there, along with the Chondro book that Drew Lander and Terry Phillip wrote a couple years ago, and some original art pieces. Jeff Frederick sent me a picture of something he was working on that he's going to donate, which is awesome.
Yeah.
What else? That bag. And I'll probably end up throwing in some extra, like, THN stuff in the bag.
I really like that beanie. Was it like an olive green?
This is, it's like a coyote brown.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Kind of similar to the bag.
Okay.
But figured instead of the black change it up a little bit. And
that's what we did. I mean, we love it. Change it away get away from black and do the blue.
Yeah. Our signature blue sweaters and t-shirts.
I need to get some hats made though.
I know. Yeah.
Stuff's expensive.
It is. It adds up. Speaking of, we will also have like $150 credit with New South shirts. So
that'll be nice.
You can go towards shirts or embroidery or whatever. So that'll be cool.
It's a decent.
Bill said wore the SNS shirt and the THN beanie just to make sure my friends catch backlash as well. Thanks, buddy. He finished the video by saying, "If anybody has any questions or wants to fight me, message Justin Smith. That's my name."
We need to get Bill his hoodie, but we got to make a new order for shirts and.
Yeah, our girl is leaving the business, so we got to make sure we get before.
Oh, she's leaving, but I think she took a pause for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got to get those done quick.
Yeah, she just made us some stickers, which was nice.
Yeah.
Actually ended up being cheaper than sticker mail, which was cool.
Yeah, even with
stickers are another one where it's just like, it seems like no matter where you go, they're expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the wristbands that kind of that Rob has. We make those every once in a while, and I think we use Wristband Bros or something like that, and it ends up being like we have to wait for a deal because right now I think it's like 90 cents a wristband. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's a lot.
Yeah,
that is a lot.
I think last time it was like
50 cents,
50 or like 46 cents a wristband.
What was the minimum?
100, I think.
Was it?
No,
okay.
Not horrible.
But those go by quick.
No.
Yeah. When you're handing them out left and right on a 2-day show, you run out real quick.
Yeah. I've seen some people do is they'll like have this little wheel where people can spin, and then on that wheel it costs like $1 to spin it, and then on that wheel it's like stickers and wristbands, so that way you're getting something back for your
right.
sticker.
Yeah, the kids love it. Like little kids love doing that stuff. So
so I just started a Facebook group for the US Gonyosoma group, just for USA folks, because there's a Gonyosoma group, but it's almost entirely people on the other side of the pond. So I was like, there's not a lot of people in the US with true Gonyosoma stuff, rhinos included. It's for that whole clade. And I made up my Photoshop skills and made a pretty sweet logo, and I'm doing a shirt order for those right now. Nice. I did some digitally printed, but I think they'd look really good screen printed. So I printed out the vellum and stuff, and the shirts have started to come in. So if anybody's interested in that and taking pre-orders,
nice.
But that'll look good. I like the black on military green a lot for some reason.
Yeah,
I think it pops.
That and the coyote brown, and I don't know. I like that look. So got
and
some
it's
of those.
Nice to have variety.
Well, it's also that same thing. I like wearing black, but it's also nice to kind of branch out every now and then and do things that are a little different. So
it's hard wearing black with our cat and the little shepherd we have. His hair is everywhere. I think we have probably 7 lint rollers laying around the house just because it's a necessity. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think when we shed our shepherd, we can make another one of him. And we do it. And it's just never ending. It's ridiculous.
Is that on the THN website? The USGA shirts. So another thing on sort of the merch front, I started working on a Shopify site just to make it easier for people who wanted to buy shirts and stuff. I just haven't done anything with it, and it's not from a lack of time, but I just haven't. So I need to get back.
Shopify take a lot of your money too.
So we use it at work, and I've seen sort of what it bills each month, and it doesn't seem horrible. I think you'd have to sell, a minimum of probably 3 to 5 items to sort of cover that, I would think. But they have a thing where like you get 60 days free when you pay $1 for 2 months to try it out, and then I'm sure that's when they're like, cool, now we're gonna ream you. But it's either that or like I don't really have any other option for, at least that I'm familiar with as far as like virtual stores.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I guess I was thinking of Printful or something like that, actually, or like Teespring.
Yeah, we were doing Teespring for a while. We just like the quality and inconsistency. Like Jake ordered a shirt, I ordered a shirt. They were not the same color. Like the graphic itself was like, his was like some weird shade of like mustard, and mine was like a green, and it was supposed to be yellow. And so I don't. And then I got like an Abronia Alliance shirt from an RPI thing a while back that was done through Teespring, and like I'm still not even sure exactly what happened, but like I washed it and like the graphic just disappeared. Like it was gone.
Yeah. We got our carpet festivals done with that, and same thing. Just comes off.
I don't know what the deal was. Like maybe it was digitally printed and they did it on something that had like polyester or something, because that ink doesn't like to stick to that.
Yeah.
But after that, and like our thing with it, it was like at first it served its purpose. It was cool and all, but now that I have much more control over everything with that in terms of merch and stuff like that, it's like not gonna deal with that again. I don't know what the deal was, but I didn't even like I just mentioned it to Pia. It wasn't like give me a new shirt or anything like that. It was like, hey, I'm just letting you know, like I'm not gonna bother getting a new one. It's not that big of a deal, but just letting you know, like if anybody else has any like says the same thing, my shirt is now just a black shirt. There's nothing on.
Yep.
I still have like my ConjureCast hoodie and my original THP hoodie, and those have held up fine. But
yeah, I think the best way is just to flip them inside out and wash them that way. Because if you don't, it crumbles.
Uh-oh. That was just me. Just start with an eBay store. eBay's kind of made it harder to do too. Now eBay, like they don't do PayPal anymore. Now it's eBay does their own thing.
I don't know what happened. Internet died.
No either. Everyone apparently Phil's just. I haven't even heard from him.
I hope he's good.
Can you text him?
I'm gonna text him.
I mean, he called me right before, like an hour before.
We
were on the show.
Are you alive?
Baby, come back. No, I'm excited for this year. I mean, as far as breeding goes, I know we're taking a little bit slower this year, and buying animals definitely has stopped altogether.
I don't know why you're looking at me like that.
I wonder. And then
you made the largest purchases this year. Don't even.
But I'm excited for that was your ring. But
okay.
I'm excited for the herping though this year, because I think we're trying to plan some more trips. I want to go to Utah and Arizona. We wanted to
Utah is another one that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful area. Zion, that'd be a cool spot to go.
That would be really cool.
I want to try to get some road trips in, because I think the Zion's like 16 hours away, which is
from us.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Not that far as far as in the grand scheme of things. So that would be cool. Plus they have a decent amount of herps down there.
Yeah, that would be cool. If we did that. Well,
but yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good year. Are you guys doing any herp trips this year?
So Jake is supposed to be, next weekend we're planning to jet down to Gainesville to meet up with Elijah. Jake's getting a hog nose or something from him. And then I think we were going to maybe go down to Skylar's while we were sort of in that general area, and then find a hotel or something, crash overnight, drive back the next day. I don't know of any like planned trips, but I know like we have to figure out a time to go pick up our BlackBox order. There's a Show Me show happening in March up there in their neck of the woods that might be a good time to go check that out and pick up. But aside from like herping and stuff, there's the WMA that Jake likes to go out to that I definitely want to hit up earlier than we did a couple months ago. And then there's this other little sort of like walking trail area in the middle of nowhere, this place called Jacksonboro, which is like between us and Charleston, and it's along like the Ace Basin, like Edisto and stuff. And it's really, really neat. Me and Katie went and walked that earlier last year. Yeah, it was, because it was like our anniversary weekend, and we passed it. I've passed it for years and never stopped at it. And so finally I told Katie, I was like, on our way back home, like I want to stop and check that out, because it doesn't look like anything from the side of the road. You go back there and it's like phosphate was a big mining thing here on the coast for a long time. So there's all these like old canals and stuff where they used to mine the phosphate and whatnot, but there's like tons of just those big gigantic palms, like pure diamondback turf. So definitely want to go back there. Jake said he's never stopped at it and checked it out. But you walk back there and it's just like you had no idea that it was there. Like there's this boardwalk that goes all the way back to, like one of a small river or something, and I think it's brackish water. It's not salt, so there's gators and stuff, and it was just really cool. I'd love to go there in the spring when it starts warming up a little bit and get there early in the morning and see what you can find.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You should get a trip planned, for Daytona time, like before or after.
Like last year?
Yeah.
We went out with Casey. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Because I really want to find a diamondback that would. That'd be nice.
Check that off your bucket
Yeah,
list.
Elijah was out hunting or something the other day, and he just like casually found one. Like,
it's always when you like are not looking for like.
Like Elijah casually found the coral snake.
Right.
Just no big deal.
It's just there.
Someone almost always seems to see a coral snake at P and Cody's when they're there.
Really?
Tim Morris, when I think at the last Carpet Fest, he was like, "Oh yeah, there's a coral snake out here just a minute ago." I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I just went under the house." I was like, "Bitch!" It's like, what? I was gone like 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Cody and Peas is awesome. Hopefully the weather's better next year.
Yeah.
I know last year I think it was like raining, but
that's okay though.
We're used to it.
Yeah, I was like, that didn't bother me at all. We're used to the rain.
You guys, if Northeast Carpet Fest gets nailed down date wise, are you guys gonna try to get that?
Is it getting planned or?
Yeah.
So it sounds like, I don't think there's like a hard date yet, but late July, early August. So that might be tough with Daytona and stuff, but
yeah.
If it's late July, that's more doable.
You should just go there and then just stay on the East Coast until Daytona. Go down to Daytona and then just go back home. Like, why bother taking 2 trips when you can just go over there and just do like what
let me just work from home for
the Ohioans do, where they just dip out for the winter, come down south, and then when it's warm again and they go back home.
That sounds like a great idea, and I would love it, but my bank account says differently, unfortunately. No, I would be down to go to Northeast Carpet Fest. I think that'd be a good time. But yeah, I think I've never been to a Northeast Carpet Fest.
I heard they're wild.
Who's hosting it? Do you know? Is that?
I think it's Burke again.
Burke again? Oh, that would be cool.
That would be really cool.
That'd be cool.
Podfather.
The Podfather. Yeah.
Jenkins said that's real close to Daytona. It's on the same side of the country. Close enough. Oh, I think he means the date. Yeah. I don't know. Unfortunately, I think if I have to choose between Northeast Carpet Fest and Daytona,
I'm choosing Daytona.
I think I'm choosing Daytona.
Yeah. Sorry, I think it's just there's so much to do in the Daytona area.
Well, the stupidest thing about it for me, like with Daytona, is like I love the fact that I could just go there and then I just all I do the entire weekend besides the show is just sit on the back patio and just smoke cigars.
Yep.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah, we tend to do a lot, but
yeah, soak up that sun, get stung by jellyfish,
I don't get stung by jellyfish.
Yeah, okay, well.
That's a Dom and Andy and you thing. And Dan and that whole crew. James. I mean,
it was like a whole mob of jellyfish that just swept through the water that day and everybody.
Down the beach just stung us individually and just kept going, then hit the next group. God, that was the worst.
The mustache protects me against everything.
Yeah, okay.
It's a natural force field.
I think it's all that hair.
Nah. I love Daytona. I can't wait for next year.
Yeah. Can we just do our honeymoon?
You want to do our honeymoon at Daytona?
Yeah. That can be our trip.
No, guys, I'm sorry.
We can then just do.
We can have the wedding dinner at Bubba Gump's.
Oh, that would be yes, and then get another cup.
Yeah, we're just not going to share a room this year,
That's true. I kind of want to get one of those patio ones that are on the lower level of Daytona,
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that either. Like, there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I don't.
This is true.
There's a lot of traffic that are. Yeah, I'm not.
I've seen what happens in front of those.
We have, unfortunately.
Been eyewitnesses.
But yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anything this next time, as far as purchasing goes. But
yeah, I say that every time.
I know.
True.
I'm like,
doesn't happen.
We come
like, it's to the point where I don't even bother saying like I'm not gonna get anything because it's like I probably will.
You're just lying to yourself.
Just lying to us. Like, I mean, we say that when we're going to this show in 2 weeks that we're vending up here in Washington, and
is that the same one that you've been?
Yeah.
Vending? How's that been going?
Oh, that show's amazing. The Pac Northwest show is really good. Mm-hmm. We're just now starting to get charged for electricity. Saw that coming from a while back, but
that's been like a standard on the East Coast for a very long time. Is like tables with electricity versus tables without.
Yeah.
So this is the first show we've ever been to up here where that's now changing.
Yeah, but Jeff, our show promoter, he's phenomenal. He's really good at communicating. He puts on a good show. Gets vendors from out of state, which is nice, and it's growing, which is good. And I've always liked it. It's a good spot to be. It's
a good vibe. It's a good just everything about it is pretty awesome.
And he does the Puyallup show and then the Portland or the Hillsboro, which is near Portland.
Yeah. Oregon. Yeah.
But so he does those 2 shows, I think, twice a year, so it's like 4 shows.
4 shows a year, just about.
I feel like there's
like once a quarter.
Yeah. Which ends up being nice as far as when it comes up to breeding, because then either have fresh babies or they're going to grow up and have plenty of meals by the time the next show comes up. And he does really good as far as advertising for the shows.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I see pictures of it, everything like booths and the venue itself, like everything looks real sharp.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It looks like a nice event.
Yeah, he has standards. I think we all have standards for each other too, which helps. So
yeah, because we had problems in the past where like certain vendors would just not have quality animals. There'd be some issues like maggots in a bin or something. Something's not right.
Yeah.
But we bring that up to him and it gets shut down, pretty quick, which is nice as far as him taking care of that kind of stuff and listening to us. And
yeah, he has a great group of people there that help out a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, they're super awesome. There's a lot of personality. There's a lot of like personable interactions with their crew and then vendors too. So we develop those relationships. People know each other.
Yeah.
And it's not so standoffish, which I feel like you get bigger and bigger shows. It's like, you don't know who the show promoter is. You've never shaken their hand, but like, that's something that we really appreciate about Jeff and his crew is like, he comes to a table, introduces himself, introduces you to people in the area, etc.
Yeah.
So it's just a really great time for us. It's definitely worth every penny.
And the vendor dinner they do, every show is pretty nice because then gives us a break and relax and all hang out with each other. And it's not like, I mean, I like the US ARC auctions, but it's not like it's not like that as far as, you're just throwing money at somebody. It's, it's sit down, eat food and chit chat.
Yeah.
Like the last one, we were talking with Nick Mutton and a bunch of other people about Thailand because trying to go there for the honeymoon and stuff and telling us about different things they've done and were able to do. And
it sounds like you're trying to go there for the honeymoon.
I'm going. I don't know if she's
I don't
going.
know if whether she's there or not.
So it'll be nice either way.
I'll be walking around the jungle in the middle of the night by myself. I don't care.
It'll be all right. Like I said, mustache protects against all.
Yeah.
I'll catch all the Trimeresurus, and you can just
Stay in the couch.
Stay at your beach in Hawaii.
I've never been to Hawaii, so I don't know.
It's a great time. I've been there twice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
But it's one of those places where you like, if you go there and then you go there again like 10 years later, it's pretty much the same. Like,
Yeah.
Nothing new, just expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like we lived there when I was a kid for just under 2 years. And I'm trying to remember if we went to Connecticut after that. I think we did. No, it was before that. So we went from Groton, Connecticut to Hawaii. And honestly, of all the places we lived, like Connecticut, I actually like the most because Connecticut, doesn't matter what season it was freaking gorgeous. Like, especially in the fall. Like, damn. Like, I know people, Hawaii is just like, it's Hawaii. Like I said, whether you go there now and then you go there again 10 years, it's still Hawaii. It's still hot. It's still sunny. It's a
great place to visit.
Yeah.
Our friends just got married there, and the pictures were, they look nice, but they found some anoles or something. What'd they find? Some weird green lizard thing.
Yeah, like an anole.
Yeah.
Or like a
day geckos.
Yeah.
Maybe it was day geckos.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's where we almost went for our honeymoon, though. Like, just because I wanted to go, so like Honolulu has like mountains and stuff, and I always when we lived there, we never checked any of that out, but I always wanted to because I had heard of like Jackson's chameleons and stuff being there, and it turns out there's like the Aratus dart frogs. Apparently, there's some there established, like just weird stuff, and so we never got to check out the mountains. So I told Katie, I was like, we should go there and just find like an Airbnb in the mountains there or something and check it out. But it never happened. We went to Asheville instead, so which was okay. It was all right.
Sounds like you need to make a vacation destination.
Second honeymoon.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like when I found out I got to get a second ring later on.
Or like a 1-year anniversary honeymoon vacation. Something.
Yeah.
The reason I think we ended up sticking to somewhere like semi close by was once again like COVID stuff.
Yeah.
So travel was weird. It was just like, let's just pick somewhere nearby that we've never been to and go check it out. And it was neat. I liked it.
Yeah.
I heard so many stories like people getting stuck in other countries when they were on honeymoons or just vacations in general.
Yeah, that's my friggin' nightmare, man.
Yeah.
Like, I almost got stuck in San Antonio coming back from the West Texas trip, and I about had a freaking heart attack because I was like, I don't even know where a hotel is around here. Like, I don't have a car. Like, I don't have any way of getting to anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So God bless the lady at the desk there, because she managed to pull some MacGyver shit and get me a flight to Charlotte in the middle of the night. But
it's like when people had their flights canceled a bunch recently.
Dude, that was wild.
Yeah.
I'd lose my shit.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? But
like, sorry, your flight's canceled. Oh, and we don't have any additional flights for you till the foreseeable future. Like, what?
Can I have a refund? No.
Why don't you just go ahead and sit tight?
Yeah.
Geez. How am I supposed to get home? Well, you can hitchhike.
Yeah. I saw a couple of those people that went out and they're like, we'll drive you to your destinations, for a couple $100 or whatever. I'm like, that's really nice of them. You don't see Uber drivers doing that. You don't see taxis doing that.
Yeah. That'd be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Start Flintstoning that bitch.
For real.
Put on your Lamborghinis and get to walking. No.
Harry tried to convince his fiance to go to West Texas, cruising for Alterna for their honeymoon. Apparently, that didn't fly.
Yeah,
I feel like I would do that.
You go to West Texas? I'd be so down for West Texas.
Freaking Big Bend, man! You got to go to Big Bend.
I would.
In the middle of the night. It was magical.
It was magical.
Yeah.
I think it could be big. Come on. You guys found a lot of cool stuff out there, though, didn't you, on your trip?
We didn't find, so it's weird because like we did find a good amount of stuff. It wasn't anything like we weren't like breaking records or by any means, but I think like a month or so later, Chris and some of his peeps went out there and they killed it. Like they saw a ton of stuff, and they were on all the same areas that we were. So that was also, I think, that particular time they were going, there had been more rain, which is why they saw so much more. I don't think we got barely any when we were there. But
what time of the year was that?
We were there like the first week of June.
Oh, how convenient.
And then Chris and them were there like at the end of June, early July.
We could do that.
So it kind of just depends on seasons and if you get lucky with the...
Yeah, rain definitely makes a difference. But just the variation in habitat and stuff, seeing the horned lizards in Pinto Canyon, which is like a plain that just seems to go on forever, and then going to Lajitas, which is like being on another planet because it's nothing but rock.
Yeah.
And then you're in Big Bend, which is like this weird rocky but colorful because of all the plants and flowers. Like the whole thing is just strange. And then we were in that, wherever Lost Mine is, which is in the middle of Big Bend. And it's like this mountainous, like evergreen, just in the middle of this giant desert. There's just this weird patch of mountains. And then Alpine and Davis Mountains. It was wild to see just the changes in the entire area.
That reminds me of New Mexico because like they had the White Sands National Park, and then like an hour away you have Cloudcroft, which is a mountain town, where you can go skiing and stuff like that, and then the rest is just desert and oil fields and stuff like that. It's just mind blowing how it changes so rapidly sometimes.
Yeah, the pictures you sent me were beautiful. I was so jealous.
Yeah, I didn't find anything.
Forget how big that state is, because you'll look at a map and be like, oh, okay, so we're going here, and then we're going to Lajitas or something from Sanderson, and it's like, yeah, it's not that far. It's like, oh no, that's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like they may only be half an inch apart on a map, but in Texas miles, that's a lot.
Texas is huge. I'd be so down to go to Texas though. I need to get some herping in this year.
I know we've been missing out on stuff locally, so
yeah. It's salamander season right now. So
yeah, and every time we've gone out,
everyone's like, why is everyone on a salamander kick right now?
They're kind of cool, and we don't have a lot of snakes. So
like Phil's on a salamander kick.
They're adorable. I get it.
I think Jake was talking about them recently or something. I'm just
They're
like,
so
what?
cool.
All of a sudden, everyone's like talking about salamanders. I'm like, I like marbleds, but other than that, I'm like, they don't really do much for me.
I've been on a kick for salamanders since we went to Kansas and met up with his Instagram's name is The Nudist. He works at David Kelly works at Zoo. He's the reptile guy, and he's in love with salamanders. And I saw his like salamander, room at the zoo behind the scenes. I was like, these things are awesome.
That was cool. That was awesome.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, there's a lot of cool stuff over there. You're gonna find it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, where?
That's another state that you just I never would have thought would be a good herping state, but
Kansas.
Yeah.
There was quite a bit of stuff when he took us out a couple of nights when we were there. I didn't know that there would be. When we drove out one night, there was just like hundreds of tarantulas just cruising the roads. I'm like, what?
And 10 billion, I shit you not, probably at least 10 billion glass lizards.
Oh my God, yeah.
No, really?
Yeah.
Broken in pieces in the road.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
and decays.
And we saw some live ones too, but yeah.
Yeah.
Decays were very popular in Kansas. I mean, we saw a bunch of those.
Yeah, I don't know how y'all saw them. They were so little.
Yeah. Lots of energy drinks, babe.
I learned a lot that herping trip. Always have somebody in the back of your car to look out for deer. That is something
we almost nailed the deer because we were all focused here. Catchers was looking out this way.
Actually looking ahead.
Yeah, because I'm in the back seat and they're in the front, and I'm like, deer! Like, and this thing's just coming at us, and I was like, we're about to die.
It's not a vacation unless you almost die. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because we were in the middle of nowhere with no cell service. We hit that deer. Oh, that'd been a long walk back.
Yeah, I think it was Loafman that kind of originally clued me into just how good the herping was there. And it's it's just one of those states that you wouldn't think would be
like
a good herping state, but
yeah.
I think he went with herping with David Kelly too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back again, but I'm not sure if we're going to go this year.
Yeah, I probably won't have time between Daytona, the wedding, honeymoon.
So many trips, so little time.
Yeah.
I still have never found a copperhead in the wild, and I know it seems like they're common, but
see, and the only place I've seen copperhead were in Kansas.
Yeah, so that's on my list for hopefully next year if we go.
Yeah, we gotta make the time. I don't know how people have time for all this travel.
Yeah,
I wish I had more.
I'm spaced on his name, but he's in Arizona. What's his name? He's in our group chat all the time.
Gron.
He takes amazing pictures all the time, finds a bunch of stuff.
Dustin, yeah.
Dustin, yeah. I'm jealous of everything he finds, but he's a
freak of nature.
Just all the cool shit.
If I had a job of just taking like wildlife photos and traveling, that would be a dream job. Just doing that, just traveling everywhere and taking all sorts of pictures.
I think Dustin just does it on his days off and after work.
I know. I don't know how he does it.
It's crazy.
He lives out there practically.
Yeah,
it's true.
But I mean that time pays off because he knows exactly where to go to find X, Y, and Z, and
you throw enough reps in there, you'll find something.
Oh yeah, you don't get good at it by just going out there casually,
Yeah.
I'll go out here once a year and I don't ever find anything. It's like, no, you hammer those spots and you're gonna know what's what.
Yeah.
And you figure out what kind of the weather patterns, like when it would be good to come out.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing. We have not figured that out for Washington yet, but
I keep every year when it starts to warm up, I'm like, I'm gonna get out and go herping more. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna try and get better at it, like in terms of reading the days or the mornings and seeing what I come across when it's like certain weather and stuff outside, and like every year I don't do it. So
yeah,
it's hard.
Life gets in the way sometimes though too.
Well, having weekends off now will definitely help.
Oh yeah,
because Jake has weekends off too, so we can go do stuff.
There you go. Yeah.
Now there's no excuse.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, just every Saturday, y'all have a plan. Friday night, go Saturday morning.
Road cruise.
Yep. Or evening.
There's no shortage of places to do that.
Yeah.
There's an entire island that's like right next to Ladies Island here. That's even bigger, and I don't know of anybody that ever goes and road cruises it. I mean, it's kind of shady because it's mostly farm and gangland, but
I love how those two mix.
Yeah.
Farm.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like almost entirely nothing but agriculture, but then that's also where all the gangs go out to like burn bodies in cars and stuff. So.
Oh.
Well, stay strapped, Justin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in case.
But
yeah, that's terrifying.
I have 10 out of my parents' house, but I've just been doing single sheets. And so I was talking to some people on Instagram that do a lot of herping, and I asked them because I've noticed like stacking seems to be the better route to go in terms of actually finding stuff. So I think in the next couple weekends, I'm going to start putting 10 together in like stacks of like 4 or 5, and seeing if that makes a difference, because we really don't find much now under those single sheets. Like we'll see a black racer on occasion, but that's about it. So I'm wondering if we stack it, if we'll see, like we'll have better luck finding some stuff. And there's still other sheets that we haven't even put out. But
we put 10 out in Kansas and we didn't have any luck this last time.
No.
Some ring necks and that was it.
But those are my favorite things to find. I love finding ring necks.
Harry says stacking is objectively better.
Is it?
Okay, so yeah, we'll have to do that. We'll have to have your mom do it since it's that time of the year now. But
yeah,
there's a lot next to my parents that the guy lives in Tennessee and rarely comes to check in on. And it gets pretty overgrown, so I'm thinking I'm going to put a couple stacks over there. Like, he won't care. I know it's not going to matter to him, but I don't know, man. I'm like tired of not finding anything. I just want to.
That's hard. It's not motivating, that's for sure. I mean, it's kind of like hunting. I mean, we went hunting 2 years now and haven't got anything. I mean, we got a turkey, but yeah, it's a lot of disappointment.
That turkey was huge, though.
It tasted delicious.
Yeah, it did. It smoked very well.
Yeah.
I
was very surprised at how it didn't turn out dry or anything like that either. But I mean, it's like our friends Chris and Emily. We went road cruising at a camping spot on the east side of the state with them, and then didn't find anything. And then they stayed back, and I think it was like an hour or two later.
Yeah.
And they found a Pacific rattlesnake and a gopher.
Bull?
It was a gopher or a bull, I can't remember. But some kind of Pituophis. And
just cross the road casually.
In the same roads we were cruising.
Yeah, broad daylight. No big deal.
Yeah. And then we drove over there like a couple weekends later and didn't find anything. And I think they found some more stuff. And I'm like,
I know.
Come on.
I know.
But we'll get back out there.
That's what happens with Jake all the time. Jake goes road cruises and he's like, man, I found this and I got this. And he takes pictures and then he takes me to those same roads and we don't see anything. And I'm like, you're full of shit. There ain't nothing out here.
Yeah.
I took those pictures months ago, probably years ago, and you're like, I found this.
Timestamp on those, motherfucker.
Get that shit off of Google. That's what you did. Come on.
I will say, since we've started doing that, like especially like road cruising, like driving anywhere, like long distance, like it clicks. Like when we like pass like a property that has like a bunch of brush, we both look at each other like, oh, we should go flip that. Like we should go ask that property, the person that owns that property, if we can go just like flip boards on their property, because we'd be surprised.
There's a reason they're laying here.
Yeah,
it's like they're meant to be flipped.
Yeah.
If anybody asks, it was the wind.
If anybody asks,
I was looking for my dog.
I couldn't find my car keys.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Right.
No, last time me and Jake went road cruising, we were in sort of he has an area that he likes to cruise that usually comes up with some pretty good stuff. And we decided to go down this one road that I don't think he had even ever been down, but we were like, why not? Let's check it out. First thing we come across is the biggest copperhead I've ever seen in my life, dead. Like literally had just been hit but a couple minutes before we got to it.
That's tragic.
So that was a bummer. We should have gotten a picture of that thing because I swear I have never seen a copperhead that large. If I had to guess, that thing had to be like pushing 4 feet.
Damn.
I think that's the saddest thing when you find dead stuff. Like
fresh dead stuff that's still like twitching. Like that's when
it's really frustrating.
Because like we literally just passed the people that did that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know? And so then we got back in the car and we're like, well, that sucks. We drive like, I don't know, maybe 100 yards. There's a really nice canebrake. Dead. Like also just hit, like fresh. So we moved it off the road and I was like, damn it. So then we get in the car. Another 100 yards. Another copperhead. Dead. That one was definitely still like twitching and stuff. Like it was like it's dead, but there's nothing left. Like it was just like it's so frustrating because it's like if we had literally just decided to go down that road 2 minutes earlier than we did, like
you'd see it.
We probably would have seen those. We probably been able to move them off the road and save them getting hit because that canebrake too was, I think it was a female, but that was a hefty canebrake. Like it was not a small one. It was a full grown adult, like breeding size, and I don't think I've never come across one of those even alive. And so to see one as nice as that, and it's just been hit, it was like that, just so frustrating.
I think I would say that I think the worst thing we saw, or at least that was most heartbreaking for me, was when Jeff and I went herping in one of a backcountry road in Kansas, and like maybe a couple 100 yards ahead of us we were driving. It was just dusk, and a guy was coming the opposite way, and we saw something dart across the road, and he fucking just blew right through it. And I was like, no. And we stopped, and I didn't remember what it was. It was just like everywhere. But that was heartbreaking because we saw it.
I think it was the Massasauga.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that was before we found the live one.
Yeah.
I think we found like probably 10 dead rattlesnakes that night.
One, yeah.
And then we finally hit our live one. And it was like when we were leaving the area. So we were on this dirt road, and Kendra was looking to the right on the side dirt roads. And she just luckily caught it on one of those little side dirt roads and told me to stop and put it in reverse, Terry, and went and saw it. So
put it in reverse, Terry.
But we found a lot of dead bull snakes too on that trip.
Yeah.
Never any live ones, but
there was a lot, wasn't there?
and they were big.
Isn't it weird too that it's like the roads that are the least traveled too? Like they're not busy roads.
Yeah.
But for
They're
some
like
reason.
farm roads or like backcountry roads that people use like between like outside of the highways.
Yep.
I'm like, nobody uses these. Why are there so many dead?
And then we found like I think it was what kind of turtle was it? Red-eared sliders?
Yellow sliders.
No, yellow sliders. It was a female laying eggs, and then
on my mom's property.
We went back to it and found it, and there's a bunch of eggs in there. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah, like the little nest, and then like just a little hole, and you could just like kind of peel the grass back and like see just all the little eggs in there. That was neat.
Yeah, it's that road where we saw those three. It was one of those things where like we could have gotten out the car and stood there for like 10 minutes and probably wouldn't have seen another person.
Yeah.
But it's like go figure, it's the monster copperhead and a really nice canebrake, and then another nice copperhead, but it was like we missed those things literally by a couple minutes. It was just so frustrating.
And then it happens like when we went herping with Casey one night, and you get out of the car for a cottonmouth, and Casey's almost stepping on a pig right next to it.
I remember that.
In flip-flops, of course.
But no, it's crazy how you can just go all night finding nothing, or you can go all night finding a bunch of DORs, and it's kind of roll the dice sometimes.
It's just depressing.
But I think I'm gonna keep doing it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I still play the lottery and I never win that. So might as well.
Every now and then it throws you a few bones. You get, you win $2, you get your scratch off money back.
Yeah. We don't talk about how much we spent though on it just to get that $2.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Spend 20, get 2. Seems like a good trade.
And it's a win.
Exactly.
Billy and Harry need to get up this way so we can find canebrakes.
We need a THP herping trip. That's what we need.
Yes, we do.
We just set out and go into different areas, like
a
couple different cars. That'd be cool.
Definitely want to get out to like the Okatee Hunt Club area. I know I said I was going to do that last year, and it just didn't happen.
What's that?
So there's out in like Jasper County. There used to be this hunt club way back in the day, like 50s and 60s, and that's where a lot of the like really high contrast, like screaming orange Okatee corn snakes were found and collected, and it became like a hot spot for people to come down and take them all. That hunt club isn't like around anymore. The property's still there, but the actual, I think, buildings and stuff aren't there anymore. But there's a really pretty long stretch of road that cuts through there that I want to go herp at some point and cruise and see what turns up.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, that little area out there has some just really, really, really nice corns.
Yeah, we still have some corn snakes from why am I blanking on his name? Chris, yeah, from Pain Shab, and it really makes me want to keep corns again.
Yeah,
like slippery slope, man.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool. Feisty little buggers, but they're still pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of the ones he sent me were pretty high strung. like abnormally aggressive.
But they like to eat, and I'll take that over anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's what did he sent me like 20 something corn snakes last year.
Damn.
It's a lot.
Some of them I sold, like, and, you know, he sent them to me for the purpose of like selling, just to take some pressure off him having everything he had. And
yeah,
he's like, you can keep them, you can sell them, whatever, do whatever you want. And I ended up keeping it. Some of them he sent to me to keep and breed like down the road, but some of the other ones that were meant to be like, he's like, you can sell them if you want. But someone was like, dude, I got to hold on to this at least for a little while to see what happens.
Yeah.
See how it comes out, because this thing's freaking smoking now. What's it going to look like in a year?
And I thought ball python morphs were all over the place, but man, corn snake morphs are. I don't fucking know. Like,
me neither.
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, that thing looks pretty, but it's got like 20 different names on it.
Yeah. And I think with what I'm sort of want to focus on and stuff, it's definitely going to be much more sort of simple 2 gene, maybe 3 at most, sort of combination stuff. Because I think once you get into that like 4 and 5 gene blender going on, and you start mixing it with other 4 and 5 gene stuff, it's like there's no way you know what you're looking at when that stuff hatches. Like, it seems to me like there has to be a point to where it's like, I don't know what's going on. I just know what I bred. No idea what's happening with the babies. So
yeah. I know one thing, a couple of them that kind of caught my eye and still do, is like that charcoal blood red stuff was really nice. Really stands out, and that color, which is cool.
Yeah, there's too many options. There's too many directions you can go, and I'm sure it's the same with balls, but
a lot,
yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, you like more grayscale monotone, like monocolor kind of stuff, like, you got options. You like stuff that's screaming red, you got options. You like pink, we got that too. You like purple, you know, there's some stuff that has that purpley look to it, but yellows and golds, and it's really hard to keep the blinders on with that.
There's so many different directions you can go, and you know, everything's pretty cool, I think. And I mean, I really like the desert ghost stuff as far as ball pythons go. I think that's still going to be our main focus, but there is a lot of different directions you can go with it.
Yeah, I like corns in general. I like the species. They're chill. They eat, you know, they're pretty hardy.
Would you take those over gopher snakes though?
Ooh.
Yes.
No, I don't think I would.
Personality, like that little rattle in the tail, or
I don't know, man. Like, I like Pituovis, but I don't like Pituovis nearly as much as Jake and Chris do.
Yeah.
I'll take a pit over a corn.
Because I don't like cleaning up after them when they're adults.
This is true. They are colubrids in general.
They're stanky.
Made me question my love for colubrids, but
yeah, no joke. Yeah.
But I don't know. Their little attitudes. It's just, and they don't bite, but they'll just like bluff at you and mouth open. Like, it's so freaking different than anything else we keep.
Yeah.
There's something about it's like the simplicity. I'm sure it's a nostalgia factor too for me, but like the simplicity in corns is one of the reasons I like them so much.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing complicated about them. There's nothing headache inducing about them. They're just it's just corns. They're just simple, you know.
I mean, they're great. Yeah, they're great. First time reptile keeper dream, you know. Yeah, it was the first species I ever bred, so yeah, they're easy peasy. I like that about them too.
I think it's like when you go from dealing with, you know, Alterna and Chondro babies and Boiga and stuff, like, those are fun too, and the challenge is good, but there's also a lot to be said for something where it's like, I can just breed it and not have to worry about like getting things to eat, and like, it's just going to produce cool stuff because it's got you know, tessera in it, or it's got blood red or whatever, you know. There's just there's something just very wholesome and enjoyable about corns, because it's just corns. They're awesome.
They're definitely a less stressful species to keep and breed, just overall, compared to a lot of other things like that we keep. where it's just like constant stress for like, fuck, if we breed this thing,
Yeah.
we're gonna feed it, we're gonna have to, how many different things are we gonna have to try to feed it before a baby will eat? What if it doesn't work? What else do we do? And like having a game plan in motion before the eggs hit the ground versus like ball pythons or corn snakes, something like that, where it's just like, they'll eat. Just give them the right thing, give them time. They'll figure it out.
I think it's definitely good to have a challenge and like have something that like requires much more attention to detail and a lot more finesse and planning and but I think you have to balance that out with something that's just, I don't know how else to sort of describe it.
Yeah, kind of like how Mike says, is like easy peasy is good sometimes. I think when you have the harder to breed stuff and then you have some of the easier breed stuff, it makes
nice
you
to have it balanced out.
Yeah.
For sanity's sake.
Yeah.
But it's like that difficult factor though is also like kind of enjoyable in the sense like when we had the Solomon Islands, like learning, like feeding them feeder fish and watching like natural behaviors and trying to feed them was it not anoles or maybe it was a baby anoles and like trying to get them to eat those and just watching like natural behaviors and like just the difference I think between like them and like trying to get something else to eat was just incredibly different, and you had to put your mind into that challenge so much more than you did anything else, and it became like a whole day thing to like get them to eat versus something you just toss a rodent in a bin.
That's a big part of it too, is the peaks and valleys aspect. Like with chondros, it was like, got the eggs, can I get them to hatch? It's like, awesome, I got them to hatch. It's like, now I got to get babies to eat, and it's like half of them aren't eating, but then you have that one that hasn't been taking and finally takes, and it does it without any issues, and there's like that's a high that's pretty hard to beat. So there's part of that it's that challenge, it's that that final, like that win, you get you finally feel like progress is being made, which with stuff like horns, it's like I know with a pretty good level of certainty that this entire clutch is going to eat the first time I offer something, and I'm not going to have to worry about it, which is cool and all, but to also have like Gagne Soma bread, I got eggs, I got babies eating, like it was hard, but I did it, and now it's I can do it again next year. And
did you keep all those babies, by the way? The Gagne Soma?
Which ones?
I guess I forgot. You had more than one clutch of the.
So I had a 3-egg clutch from the Jansen eye that I don't know if they just weren't fertile. They seemed like they were when I counted them, but they ended up just crashing. So I don't know. I've been trying to feed them more often and start misting them more often in hopes that maybe activity will sort of spike again with them. But I'm planning to do rhinos this year for the first time, so that'll be interesting, and that's going to be one of those tougher species. So we'll see.
That's awesome. Fingers crossed, man, because that'd be really cool.
Yeah. As far as challenging snakes, we got we have those roughies. I don't know if you remember in the chat.
Oh yeah.
We have one that's eating just by herself, and then the other two are just still being assist fed, and it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Just pick it up.
At some point, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep shoving these down your throat. Come on.
Yeah. God.
But no, they're cool. I think
next year. Has there been any progress with those in terms of like any interest in food initially? Like, or is it still the same?
Yeah. So the male was like not interested in food at all. So it was like borderline force feeding him. And then like suddenly there's like a couple of those in, it like a light bulb switched for him, and he was like interested, but like he didn't know how to wrap. He didn't like figure out how to open his mouth around it. He just kind of like push it around, and I'm like, okay, we'll figure this out together. And so then it became an assist feeding. I had to use I think it's like the drop perch method where you like hang them, so get them on like the tip of their tail and then just, have them hang down with the meal. Then they have to figure out how to wrap it, pull it up, and then they'll eat.
Yeah.
and that was when I think it really started to click with him. And now he's still not taking like directly from the tongs with us. But if I like hold him in my hand and like kind of put it near his mouth, he'll figure, oh, I need to open this and then do my thing.
That's how it was with chondros. It was like they didn't know how to eat.
How do they survive in the wild?
Yeah. It was like literally, like they'd grab it and then they wouldn't wrap it, and so they'd drop it, and then they'd grab it and then they'd wrap it, and then they'd kind of let go of it and just sort of hold on to it. And it was literally like they didn't know what to do. It was like, how is it other snakes are hatch and they're like eating out of the egg, but you guys for some reason like I have to somehow teach you how to. It was bizarre because I noticed that with chondros, it was literally like they didn't know what to do. Yeah.
So I'm really glad that like that perch method worked, because I was running out of ideas real quick. You know, we were doing feathers, we were doing different scents and different temperatures, different sized meals,
fish,
different, all sorts of stuff. And they were just like, not interested. And then I was like, all right, we're just going to put it in your mouth and see what happens. And then they're like, oh, okay, I got this now.
And the bird down didn't do anything?
I tried to use whale feathers on rodents, and they were just no interest still.
And then we tried some, I think, was it anoles from Randy that he was feeding some of those for himself.
Scenting, like washing mice, pinkies, scenting with the anoles,
Did not work.
Nothing worked until we just stuck it in their mouth. We're like, oh, okay. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, that's again, it's like how is your species alive still? Like
yeah, blows my mind.
Like, you're pretty, but that's about it.
Yeah.
There's a reason Mom has 30 of you, because about one of you is actually going to make it.
Yeah.
The rest of you are just targets.
Yeah, the two that we got, I'm just like, come on, man.
But it sounds, from what I've heard too, with roughies in particular, it sounds like they can be kind of hit or miss. Like once, I guess, kind of like chondros, like once they're going, they're fine. But you have some that are very difficult to get going, and then you have some individuals that are not nearly as headache-inducing.
That's like Casey Lazick. He told, because we got them not eating from him, because I mean, he said he's only had to force feed one, and out of, I can't remember how many clutches he's got of roughies, but quite a bit. And then, of course, we get the the three that don't want to eat. Yeah. And it's like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah.
So.
And thankfully, I had that experience with the Solomon Islands, so I knew what to do, how many times to try, not stress them. Yeah. Thankfully, I had that experience in my belt. Otherwise, if we'd experienced that for the first time, I'd have been like, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
I think Dustin was having a similar issue with his two. Like, he had one that was eaten, and then he had another one that's been really touch and go.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think his are doing good now, but I know he was struggling for a little bit. With this.
Wouldn't surprise me, at least. Yeah.
Species I'll get my hands on one day.
They're cool.
They're real neat. They're real neat.
As long as they eat, I just leave them alone. I'm like, just don't die.
Yeah.
Just live.
Just live.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. I think that's, because one of those challenges we were talking about is like that fail to thrive aspect of some things. I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, like,
is it me? Like, was it just not meant to be? And you just aren't, you've been here longer than you were really supposed to.
Yeah.
Or am I only delaying the inevitable?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because with the Solomon Islands, like, they weren't eating individually, so we started putting them together. Then they were starting to eat fine, and then all of a sudden they just started dropping one by one, and we're like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Like, and it was just a crazy kind of mess, but it was an experience that was definitely worth it for sure.
Candoy are one of those ones that I wonder if they'll ever be like fully figured out.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to think about that. Yeah.
It seems like that's just going to be a group that's just perpetually going to be no one's going to fully understand exactly how how they've managed to get there's not like formulaic like it is with so many other species, it's like Rob Stone, I think is the one person that comes to mind that I know is actively doing stuff with Candoya.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if there's anybody that's going to be able to do it, it's probably going to be him. But just to purposefully plan breeding and getting offspring from them, to me, seems tough. Everyone that I know of that's gotten babies, it was not on purpose. Like
we got ours, and she was wild caught, so she just came in gravid. But
yeah.
And I've seen ours only had 11 babies.
Yeah.
And we saw some other people posting like
50
something.
Plus offspring.
Wow. And I'm like, that's insane. I'm glad we didn't get those.
Yeah,
but,
I can imagine the survival rate on that.
They're really cool snakes, though. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the reason why we got out of them. It's just not worth the headache for us personally. We weren't investing in them that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were investing way too much time just to get them to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like where it became a conversation. It's like, is this something we really want to do every year? They're a neat species, but we just don't have the time.
Yeah. You got to pick and choose your battles there.
Yeah. So thankfully they went to a home that definitely knows what they're doing. They had more time, smaller collection. I was like, great, you take them.
Randy is in the chat. He would be successful with Candoya, I bet. I mean, he was he was really good with the Dominicans, so I think he'd be with them.
Yeah. He has the patience of a saint.
I think when you come from a chondro breeding aspect and then Dominicans and that kind of stuff, you're already born in the headache, so that's all you know.
Yeah.
That group is odd too, because like they're clearly doing very well in the wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like with all these females that come in gravid, as many come in general, like their population is doing really well. So it's like, what are we missing? Because it's clearly us. It's not like they're just not reproducing in the wild, because it seems like they're freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that group that we got ours from. I mean, I know Dan Mallory brought a lot in. I think all the
there was a bunch of shipments of them.
Yeah,
because that's when it started to explode. Everybody had them, and I'm like, okay.
There was like a wave.
Was it Juggernaut Reptiles or some Juggernaut something? They have those Isabel Islands, like black and white Candoya, and that's when I first fell in love with them. And he's been, from what I've seen, pretty successful as far as getting babies to thrive. So
yeah.
He must have figured his method out, but I don't know what that is.
Just kind of like Bolins, you got to wonder what are we lacking? Like, what are we missing?
Yep.
And it's when you think about it like that, you wonder if it's something super obvious that just is completely going over your head. It's like we can control things to pretty hardcore degree.
Yep.
So we're missing something.
Yeah. And maybe that's our fatal flaw, is that it is too controlled. In the wild, the temperature isn't going to be consistent every day at this time for this duration. Some species need that fluctuation. Some need more barometric pressure change.
I think that's what I think it might be, is like, if I had to guess in terms of things that we just really can't control, is barometric pressure and the elevations and things like that, and maybe we're trying to fit the square into the circle, but
unless you live in an area where there's just like constant storms, I don't think you can control that.
Oh. But then you look at people that have bred like the Bolins, like people in Florida have done it, Colorado, and it's like all over the map, kind of different environments. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I think species like that, hopefully they do get bred more, like Apodora, I really hope that we get some people breeding those, because
has anybody figured that out yet?
People have bred them back to back a couple times.
Have they gotten eggs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They bred a couple times and got babies out of them.
Yeah.
I think the last guy was in Colorado or something.
Okay.
And then one of our local friends got eggs.
I
never made any posts about it, so I won't say his name, but the eggs, I guess, were a little sensitive. So there's that too now, which I didn't even think about. But,
yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, that's a sign that you're on the right track. I mean, that's like, even with the Jansenii eggs that I got, they didn't go the distance, but that's like clearly they're content enough to get that far. So
yeah,
Yep.
it's definitely, I wasn't upset about it because it was like, this means they're making something happen.
yeah, you're doing something right.
Eggs is better than nothing. You can figure out the
That's
egg game one.
Yeah.
So, but no, Billy, we had Pulse and I before, but we don't have them anymore.
Nah.
We got rid of them last year, I think. So we gave the trio. We sold the trio to a guy that was pretty passionate about it. So
yeah,
hand them off to him.
Then we got more Max instead.
Yeah, more Max. I think
that's what the trade-off was. If we sell these, we have to get something that we're more passionate about.
I think we're at like 12 Max now.
It's
Good
too many.
God.
It's not
too many
Max.
That's a lot of Max.
A lot of teeth.
Oh my God, they bite so much as babies.
I know. I would
so
still
sad.
rather get bit by a Mac like 50 times than I would one time by a baby white-lip python, though.
Yeah, those are kind of assholes too. But yeah, Macs are cool. I don't think we're gonna add any more unless like some of the different localities
Unless
come
you
out.
divorce me.
There's that. Damn. You hear that, Billy? I can't buy any more from you.
You're done. You're cut off.
Nah.
It's taking away space for the white lips. That's what's happening. I want more white lips.
We got white lip money, baby. But yeah, I think the Macs are really cool. I want some of those like Roddy Island localities. And then we'll add some more, but that's about it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they're neat. That's one that I let Billy Hunt enjoy. Have fun with those. They're cool and all, but
they're a different breed, that's for sure. They chill out when they're bigger, but
yeah.
Man, it takes a while for that to happen.
It's the road to getting to there.
Yeah,
it's
covered in blood.
Yeah,
it's covered in blood. Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah, see, I don't have that much problem with the babies. Well, no, that's a lie. I definitely do. I always get bit. Jeff hates getting bit, so I have to handle the mean bitey things. So I get bit a lot more than he does.
Oh no, because I use a hook, and she's like, "Just grab it. Stop being a baby about it."
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a bad decision. I shouldn't have done that."
You're the one with Band-Aids all over your hands.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Those aren't freckles on her face. Those are just bite marks.
That was the olive. That was one time.
When we first got our first olive python, she opened the bag and it bit her right in the face.
It was like a Walmart. Like it was super chill. Like I was like, wow, this is awesome. It's cold. I was like, cool. It's like not have an attitude. And immediately looked at me and I was like, oh no. And it just struck me in the face.
Oh no.
You just know. You know.
And that's when she knew she loved liasses.
That's when she's like, we need more.
Yeah, first kiss, and she's like, I'm sold.
Yeah, just with blood dripping down my face.
I have a picture of it. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Well, we're at the 2-hour mark. Phil, I guess it's just not coming.
Yeah, did anybody hear from him?
I hope he's alive.
That is, I asked if he was alive. He said, yeah. He said, internet is fucked, period.
Lame.
So
I'm glad we could fill in. We're not Phil, but
I know.
we try.
Yeah.
Where should people go if they want to see what you have available, follow you, all that?
You can find us at Puget Sound Pythons on all of the things, on the Books of Faces and all that kind of stuff. And if you're local to Washington or Oregon, we'll be at the Pac Northwest show January 28th and 29th. So stop by and say hi.
Yeah.
Get a free sticker, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think
This
that's it.
episode was brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com. Check them out. You need a rack, you need a cage. BlackBox is all the rage. Use the code THN at checkout. Capital T, capital H, capital N. Get 10% off your order. Check it out. Fastest lead times currently. Still, I think they've been a steady like approximately 2 weeks, which is fast. It's pretty quick. Phil got his XT2s, little 2-foot sliders that look really slick. I'm anxious to see how they look when he's done sort of putting them together and decking them out. And then I'm excited for the stuff me and Jake are going to be getting here soon. I'm excited to get the Persimmon set up in theirs. And yeah, so hit them up. And then once again, follow Petertown Pythons on all
Thanks,
the places.
guys.
We will see everybody Thursday. I think we're doing Corn Stars is the plan right now. Trying to hunt down somebody for that because the other 2 people we've hit up are unavailable. So we'll see. Thank you all. I'll do what Phil does. Bye.